what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. I hope you're all having a very good day today. Here we are, the day after New Comic Book Day, and we've got some things that we're gonna talk about today, right? I mean, we got some comic books to talk about, and in case you didn't see from the title and the little thumbnail, I finally watched that movie. You know, that documentary on Netflix that everybody's been talking about. So we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna act morally superior for the next hour or so. So hey, be prepared. Strap yourself in. Get on your moral cap. Get ready to sit high on that horse for the next 60 minutes. Yes, because this is what we do. You know, this is how we feel after, you know, you watch a very insightful documentary that changes you. It makes you, you're a different person now, are you not? You're a different person now that you've watched The Social Dilemma. Now that you know just a little bit more about what the government, about what these companies, and about what everybody is out there to do, right? You know now. You know the mistakes that you've made, and it's not your fault. It's the fault of these companies. It's the fault of Facebook. It's the fault of Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. It's everybody else's fault but yours, right? And you now know that. So you can now go out there into the world and forgive every single person online that has ever said anything bad or mean. And you can, you know what? And if somebody says something to you, you can go out there and say, hey, damn it, it's not my fault. You know that, right? It's the fault of social media. Have you not watched The Social Dilemma? Well, I'm not sure if we can really be talking if you haven't. So we're going to talk about that for the next hour or so. You know, we might actually even talk a little bit about some comic books as well. Because you know what? Like, we do that here. And there's somewhat of, you know, we could there's some lessons that we could take. That we could pull out of scripture. There's some lessons that we can pull out of comic book scripture. Some Marvel lore. Maybe even some DC lore. That's right. That is right. So anyway, welcome to the stream, everybody. My name is Trinity. In case you didn't know, I hope you're all having a very good day. In case you didn't catch that at the very beginning of the stream. Gotta say what's up to my man. We got Reefer Man Reviews. What is up? Ruben Guzman. What is up, my man? How are you doing? Cowbunga. Yeah, Cowamother loving bunga, yo. Hell yeah. Lemon Pie, what is up? He says, I'm smoking my morals right now. Oh, wait. Oh, that's funny, dude. That's funny. That's funny. You know what? I wonder. No, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it. So anyway, guys, yeah, here we are. It's the, let me move my chair a little bit. It's the day after New Comic Book Day. Did you guys get out and pick up any comic books? If so, what comic books did you pick up? What comic books are you reading? What was your favorite one that you've read so far? Let me know down in the comments below. Fanjecture, what is up, my man? Welcome to the stream. I hope you made the. Did you make the intro? Are you ready? Are you ready to be morally superior for the next 60 minutes? Or maybe 45 or so? I don't know. We'll probably end it at 9 because I believe Star Wars Santa's probably going to go live at 9 o'clock. So we'll probably go maybe just a little bit longer than that. Not too much longer. Besides, I've got to get to work myself. But I hope you're all having a very good day. But yeah, guys, there was some comic books. We'll talk about The Social Dilemma in just a minute. We'll talk about that social dilemma in just a minute, will we not? And by the way, Fanjecture, good show last night, dude. I'm loving that background. I need to have some words with you, man, because I'm actually working on some of my backgrounds and shit right now, and designing some, doing it all myself. Of course, this is probably where I should talk to Sai, but you know, I could use some of your input. Anyway. Guys, I dropped my review of Batman issue number 101 yesterday on the channel late last night. Did you go watch it? Go watch it. Go watch the review I did for it. I know my man Reefer Man did. Wasn't that you in there, Reefer Man? Pretty sure you've seen that. Yeah, yeah, you did. Because you was laughing about how I reviewed an ad. Isn't that what trailer breakdowns are? Trailer reactions? Yeah, I saw you upgrading the garage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You mean the studio? Oh man. So yeah. Ooh man, guys, another great comic book that came out this week was The Scumbag. This is a new title on Image Comics being written by Rick Remender. I've, you know, I can't say I've never. I've only read a couple comic books by Rick Remender. I was getting into like some of the Captain America stuff, but he's a pretty good writer. But this book right here, The Scumbag, the world's fate rests with the world's with the worst person on it. Yeah, the world's fate rests with the worst person on it. Yeah, yeah, like that sounds like a tongue twister, man. I'm like, the world's fate rests with the worst person on it. There we go. Man, seems like a tongue twister. Hilarious book. Great book. Can't wait to read issue number 2 on that one. Let me know if you've read This Scumbag. The art in this book is, I thought, was pretty decent as well. It's kind of got this indie look, and at times it's really good, and it really fits the story and the mood and everything going on in this book. I thought this first issue was a good number 1 to get somebody hooked into a story. Gonna have a review for this dropping on the channel here very soon. Stillwater, issue number 2, another one on Image Comics. This is on their Skybound label. You guys heard of Attack Peter? You should go check out Attack Peter, man. He's got a channel here on YouTube. He works for Skybound. I only know that just from being in streams and seeing him and shit. But Stillwater, Chip Zdarsky's new book. Issue number 2 here was very good. I thought issue number 2 had a good. It picked up the story from where number 1 left off and carried it forward in a good way. Like gave me just enough to make me want to read issue number 3. So Chip Zdarsky doing a good job on this. Like I wasn't big on Stillwater issue number 1. Like I was like, nah, it's okay. Probably be an alright book. After reading issue number 2, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's got something going here. This is definitely a good book. And I think what it is like for me, like I feel like almost starting to get picky nowadays. Picky about some of these books. I don't know, but I guess that's good in a way. That's good in a way, right? But also, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Chip Zdarsky's just a good writer. The Robin King. Pick this one up as well. I thought the Robin King was a pretty good book. This one really just kind of it built upon what we learned about him when in the Multiverse's End when he was first introduced. This really builds on that. Like it picks up there where we were learning about his character and how his parents were murdered and how he came to be. Very interesting. Robin King, issue number 1. Thought it was a pretty good book. The only thing I would say is like is the art in some of these books. Some of the art I'm just kind of like but the story that it's telling, like the art fits. You know what I mean? And man, it's really hard to explain. I've got this one. A dive into this one. X-Men issue number 13. That I'm gonna get done now. I have some other videos I've got to get caught up on those because I had like 3 of them recorded and I released one of them. And in case you guys missed that the other day, I released one of them and my boy Chillmonger was like, "Nah, bro." I was like, "Nah." And I was like, okay. So I took, and it's not deleted. It's still here on the channel. I just made it private and all that stuff. So I'm gonna reshoot that, and I've got a few of them that I'm gonna have to reshoot in that case. Because yeah, it just wouldn't, like they could have been better. I was trying something different and it just didn't quite work out. It didn't quite work out how I wanted it to. So kind of changing the direction on those just a little bit. And and that's good because, like, oh man, I'm telling you, this week's issue number 13 of X-Men, it's got a lot of stuff in there that's like, oof, man, like man, like we could go on, like this could be a live stream, this could be an hour-long live stream. Just diving into this book, and I just got done reading Juggernaut issue number 2 as well, and I've got to say, I like the art in this book. I like Ron Garney's art. I definitely like his art. The story is a little, at this point, I don't know. I don't know how this is all working out, because it does actually have some crossover with the X-Men in a way, when really it should have a lot of crossover if you think about it, because what we're dealing here is we're dealing with Juggernaut, we're dealing with Sword, we're dealing with, yeah, I mean, there's mention, I mean, we see Xavier in here. In the first issue, obviously, there was mentions of Magic, Ileana, Rasputin, so it's weird in that way. It's very weird in that way. Yeah. Oh damn! Last night was Wednesday. Crap! I forgot about Fanj. Oh, Reefer man, is that work? Oh, I thought honestly, Reefer, I thought you were working. I figured you were probably working, man. Yeah. I only read some of the Chips Marvel stuff. Yeah. You know what? I think the one that I read that he did that was freaking excellent, because I've heard Daredevil is good, but I read that one Spider-Man Life Story. Good book. Loved it. It was great. And there was something else. I want to say there was something else that he did that I read too that I thought was pretty good. I could be wrong there. Could be wrong. But yeah, he is a pretty good writer over there on the Marvel stuff. And let's see. Thought I had some others that I got, but apparently not. So yeah, guys, let's talk about this show, this movie, this documentary. Have you guys seen this? The Social Dilemma. Did you watch it? Did you watch it? I want to know. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments below if you've seen it and what your thoughts are on it. And oh man, oh dang, what? All right. Wow. All right, this thing's tripping. All right. All right. There we go. But yeah, so I just watched The Social Dilemma last night, and I've heard a lot of people talking about this documentary, talking about the social dilemma, and it's about it's this documentary about this guy. He used to work for Google. Was it Google Mail? And they were, upgrading the interface and all that, just trying to make it friendly for users, easy for users to navigate, but also get them to be on there and stay on there. Kind of like YouTube is. Like with the algorithm and everything. What they want to do is they want you to get and stay on their platform for as long as possible. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these different companies, these different social platforms want you to stay on their platforms for as long as possible. And this is, I mean, if you think about it, what else would you want as the company? Right? Think about it. What do you want? If you're a content creator here on YouTube even, what do you want? You want to capture your audience for as long as possible and get them engaged for as long as possible. Now, the way in which you do that is what's really gonna start making a difference as you move forward, right? And the message that you're putting out there and the message that you're telling people. And this goes the same for you as a person, as a content creator, if you're a content creator, or even these companies. The ultimate thing is like there are content creators who are just out there doing this for fun. They want to get their voice out there. They want to be creative. They want to do all that stuff. Still, the thing is, you don't make videos for people not to watch them. So you got to find what people want. And that's why, that's one of the things I like about these live streams is getting and interacting with you guys, because you guys kind of tell me. But the thing is I don't ask enough, right? I just get on and I flap my gums. But I want to know from you guys, what more would you like to see me do here on the channel? One thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking a lot more about movies. Again, lately, probably not like movie news or anything. Like, I'm not great at like movie news, and like I'm not good at news shit. You know what I mean? I'm just not good at it. You know what I'm good at? Flapping my gums about some of that stuff out there. Maybe I just need to actually get in and spend some time doing that. But I'm just, anyway, because it's fun. But one of the things I started the channel on was wanting to do theories, craft theories and stuff like that. And then one of the other things that I started doing was I wanted to share some of myself, and I wanted to share things out there to help you guys, that would help people coming to the channel. If you go, I should have a playlist here called Superhero Life Tips. Now, the thing is superhero life tips started off as something I just wanted to share things, things that were on my mind, things that I think could help you be successful and things like that. And I've done, I think I did like 3 of them, and I need to do more of those. I like doing those kinds of things because that's some of the stuff that I get with the interaction with you all here, is wanting to add value. And see, and that's what this whole thing was supposed to be about, this social dilemma, this documentary. All these companies, they really want to add value to it, because adding value to you adds value to them. They make money. They get money from their advertisers, obviously, right? So in that, there comes, there's some money is certainly a motivator. It is for most people, let alone companies. They want to make money. Companies want to sell their shit to you, right? And it can all be like, here's the thing is, it can all be done for good. It can all be done under the guise of good. I've long thought for a long time, like, dude, like, if you think about it, seriously think about it, because I thought about this for years. If you look at it, we've got the internet at our fingertips, and we're using it not for the best shit that we could. You know what I mean? We're not using it to learn more. We're using it for pornography and being assholes to each other, right? And streaming movies. Pornography, right? so that's the thing is, at what point, like, it's all dependent on your interaction. It's all dependent on your interaction. And the thing is ultimately the way they get you to stay engaged is by it learning about you. And this is what this whole documentary is going on and on about. And here's the thing is, it started off as something innocent. They just wanted to keep your attention. They just wanted you to have fun on their platforms and stuff like that. But if you think about it, what is fun for different people? What is fun? Can you define fun? Some people love shit posting on Twitter and Facebook all day long, right? And some people love just like posting pictures of their kitty cats and their children and their art projects and all this stuff and just all the happy things going on in their lives, right? That's what it's all about. I mean, you get different kinds of people out there, and there's some of them who are faking it, some of them who are disillusioned, just everything across the board. But what it comes down to is, what do you interact with most? Because all that fake positivity stuff that's not like real in the first place, you can only fake it so much. All that fake, like, that's really not good for anybody. Okay, for one. It's not good. It's not good for anybody. I mean, it's not good for, it's just not, because you're pretending things like things aren't real. Now, and that's kind of what this documentary goes in and talks a lot about, how it was all set off with good intentions, but eventually you get to the point where this mass thing happens. You got people interacting on these platforms, and that's what really starts to drive it, and they have something valuable there, and that's what this whole documentary goes into. And admittedly, it's a pretty good documentary. It is. But someone, and you see a lot of the people who were in this documentary, like the guy who was directing. I can't imagine that the guy who was doing this, who did this documentary, and a lot of the people who were in it were much older than I am. Okay, a lot of them didn't seem like they were much older than I am. Some of them, now obviously there's ones that were, but here's the thing: is a lot of us, we grew up in this world, not having social media, the social interact. We grew up not having that, right? We grew up interacting with people, and things like that. Now the thing is we all have different backgrounds from which we come. Some of us come from, like, economically. This, it really plays into it. Come from backgrounds where, you never really had to struggle. You went to a pretty good school. You learned, everything was pretty good. There were people who didn't have all of that. And then not only that, but even people who did have all of these same things, you all have different backgrounds and things that happen. And these personal interactions that you have with people day to day is what really, is what a lot of us grew up with. Is a lot of that. Now the thing is ever since these things started to become, social media, the internet started to become more prevalent, especially with the advent of social media. People spend more time online, right? And if you think about it, it's not even millennials; it'd be the Generation Z, who were pretty much grew up this whole life with cell phones. They had these things in their faces, these devices, and things like that. Like my kids, they wouldn't be Gen Z, but they would be after that. They might be on the tail end of Gen Z, actually. They might be on the tail end of Gen Z. But anyway, yeah, they might be on the tail end of it. But the point being is they kind of that's kind of what they grew up in. And this whole thing with, a lot of these things, these interactions that we have, they really come down to our upbringing, and these days, and that's one of the things that really started, coming out through Generation X, where I was born at, was that you started having more two-income households. Both parents were working, and kids had, maybe less interaction with their parents, babysitters, you had, daycares, and certainly what became even more popular: television and television shows. That's right. So you got like this whole, generation. That's where the Generation X comes in at, where you have all of these things where technology was starting to pick up, and all of these things. And that's really what the whole generation thing is. I mean, aside from your parents and then you, and like aside from that, the whole like generation marker thing has to do with all of these things. It's signs of the time, the technology, and everything like that. It all kind of plays into it. Well, we grew up in a time where it was starting to get big. Where it was starting to get big. All these things were starting to come out. This technology, was starting to become more prevalent. Then you get the millennials, who it was even more so. It was actually even accelerated, by that point, by the time that, millennials come around, right? So they get a lot more of their, and this, like, again, this doesn't apply to everybody. They get a lot more of that upbringing of being in front of the television, being in these other areas that aren't with their parents, and a majority of their time isn't spent with their parents, learning values and things like that. Now, I will say, in some situations, this is probably a good thing. This is probably a good thing in some situations. In some situations, it's probably really bad. Now, the thing is, then you get into now, where even if you have parents who are there and interactive, or just like with their children, stuff like that, you have social media, you have these devices and things like that that people use to pacify their kids. Oh, here, learn, play this game on here. My daughter, my oldest, she learned her ABCs, and like the site and everything, like just following like the little things on this app that I had on my phone. She learned to unlock my phone. I'm telling you, she's as sharp as they can be. These tools can be used for good, but for the most part, we don't really use them for the best things in the world. Look at what we use them for. Like I said, earlier, we're using them mostly for pornography, being assholes to each other, and streaming movies. Pornography, and and that's really about it. So I mean, what do you think the kids are going to use it for? The same thing. The same thing, right? And there's just a lot that goes into that, where really what all of this stuff comes down to, on this social dilemma, and is these things that people need to interact with their children. You need to be present in their lives. Um, and it's not just simply about that, because a lot of it is also about seeking social validation. You can't look to these platforms for that. You can't get that from people. You can't look to the internet for these kinds of things. And a lot of this comes down to parenting and how you are raised. And this is actually comes down to something that has to do with those generations we were just talking about. For where you get your boomers, you get your Generation X, where you get your millennials, and you get your Gen Z. And it's all of these things, and they're all interconnected with technology. So a lot of it, and again, this isn't across the board. A lot of it really does have to do with social interaction, where you see that social interaction is really prevalent these days. But it's not so social, is it? It's not so social, because world closer together. Yet now you hear people saying like, I got like on Facebook, on one of our local scanner community pages, people are like, "Oh my God, the city's so bad, it's gone to shit." And it's like, you know, it is. The city's grown. A lot of things have, a lot of bad has come with that. But at the same time, you know, you're seeing everything in your world right there on your phone. Before, you used to have to wait for it to come across the television set, a newspaper, maybe even just an internet article, you know, an article that you found on the internet. In these kinds of ways, where now it's right there in your face, right there. So it's magnified. And it's magnified. So, you know, obviously these things are all designed to put that magnification in front of your face. What you interact with most, it's gonna put in front of your face. It wants to predict what you're gonna do. It wants to provoke you. These are all things to get you to interact. That's all it wants. Now, we see on this oh man, is that, there we go. Am I, is that a little bit better? Seeing there was some dust on it. It looks like I need to clean the screen. Probably been spitting too much. But the thing is this is where people spend most of their time these days, and they want you to spend your time there on social media. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hell, I'm sure we've all had one of those days where we've completely pissed away from sitting there on social media doing this. You know, you go do something and you come back and you're doing that. We've all probably had one of those days. Hell, I've had a Saturday completely waste away because I'm sitting there. I'll interact. I'll go do something. You know, interact. You know, all day. You know, then I'll go do something really quick. And you know, I've had those kind of days. You have fun on those guys. They're usually kind of days where I'm just on Facebook with my friends, just bullshit and just having fun, and that's really about it. They don't happen very often, and it's fun. You get on there and you have fun with it. Some people, now again, like I said, there's different versions of fun that different people have, right? So that's what it comes down to. But again, these things are going to put in your face what you most interact with. It's going to get you to provoke. So if it provokes something out of you, it's going to get you to react and all of these kinds of things. And this is perfectly natural. This is what happens, right? The thing is it reminds me of these videos that I always see on Facebook by, man, what's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. But he just does all these videos where he's like, you spend our lives in front of a screen, but we never spend time in front of the ones that mean most to us. And, you know, we're sitting down there at dinner, and you can't put down your phone because you know, just all that stuff. And it's like, there are people certainly like that, but that's not me. Like, there's times where I do that, but for the most part, like, that's the key thing, is getting out and actually interacting with people. Now, the thing with the social media is people, it's supposed to be social media, but what we see, what happens on social media on most platforms is the exact opposite of that. It's the anti-social media. You see people blocking everybody on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, even here on YouTube. You see people blocking everybody out. Now, there's one thing. If you don't want to hear somebody, that's perfectly fine. Just ignore them. You can feel free to block them. But if you're blocking them because of somebody wanting to have a conversation that you just don't agree with, there's something different. Because you can't keep yourself closed off in one little hole, and you know, you're going to create yourself an echo chamber, and that's not what you want. You want everybody's input. That's what you really need, you know. But social media makes it to where you feel like you don't want that. You have to block these people because there are people that are going to be out there. There's actual real trolls out there shit posting, and that's all they want. That's all they want. Now, the thing is a lot of these trolls could probably easily be avoided. And you know, how would you say, a lot of this could be avoided if we just have more interactions with people. Because I've seen personally where there are some of these people who are going out there and being complete trolls, and it's like, you know, like, all this person really wanted to do was talk to you. All they really wanted to do was talk to you. I mean, yeah, and you don't have to grant them an audience at all. But I've seen where you shut the person out, and all they do is they sit there and constantly troll you because they want the interaction. You could probably alleviate all that by doing the one thing that you should probably do in the first place, and that's have the conversation. Now, that's not saying that you have to agree with them. That's not saying you even have to argue with them. You don't even have to make a point with them. But simply sitting down and letting them let their voice be heard, right? Because the thing is like, it's not all about agreeing. You don't want to agree with everybody. What kind of a world would it be in if we all agreed on everything? You know, and that's the funny thing is with the social media and the politics, especially now that we're in an election year. Here's the thing, and everybody's at each other's throats talking about their ideals and their morals and all this stuff because it's an election year. You know, and we've got this pandemic here at the same time, all these different things going on, right? And you see all the people wanting to shut each other out and not hear each other out, and this is the exact thing that you don't want to do. And here's the thing, I was talking to somebody the other day, and this all kind of relates, is about politics, because, you know, my friends, like, you know, you see all these people online and everything, you know, everybody's so divided, you know, they just don't want to hear each other out and all this and that. I'm like, yeah, of course. But here's the thing, like, politics aren't supposed to divide us. Politics are supposed to bring us together. You have different ideals. You have different things that you think would be good for laws and society, as the way that you see it, than I do. The point is for us to come together to talk about those differences, to create a better future for ourselves and for our children by having these discussions, not by shutting each other out and saying, fuck you, I don't want to hear what you have to say, it's my way. That's not what you do. I mean, that sounds an awful lot like, man, I'm not going to say what that sounds like, but I'm sure that you get it, right? The point is, all this stuff is supposed to bring us together, not make us grow further apart. But that's what it's doing, because it's making people want to have their own little bubble, their own little world, and shut everyone else out. But it's social media, right? Not anti-social media. And that's the thing. But the thing is most of the people that you see this coming from are people who are just, they've been disillusioned by a lot of these things going on, a lot of these interactions. A lot of these people, admittedly, don't have probably a lot of personal interaction with people on a regular basis, real interactions with real people on a regular basis. Okay, now I run a small business here where I live at, and believe me, like, you see me on Facebook, I am a smart ass. I'm a smart ass motherfucker, man. Like, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of the things that this documentary was talking about, how it gets people to react and everything, I figured this stuff out a while back because, you know what, it was a time, man. It was probably like around the time my daughter was born, 2000, so probably around 2011, 2012, around the time Facebook was coming out, where I noticed there was some stuff going on, even some interactions that I had. I was sitting there, I was like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Deleting people and all that kind of shit. And then, you know, I started to think about, I was looking at it all, I'm like, but why? But why? So that's when I started experimenting with it. Like, you know, you'd see posts and, you know, you'd post something, post like a thought. Somebody would post something, you post a thought on there, and then see how people are reacting to it. And like, some people are really like, ree, you know, and then there's, you know, people are just like, oh, you know, like, who probably know you or know me and are like, oh yeah, well, I get what you're saying, but, you know, they can have a rational discussion where some people read about it. But then what I started to notice is, as I would turn the screws just a little bit, is I would even have my friends sitting there and be like, fuck you, man. Like, seriously? Like, what the, and it's like, whoa, and just like seeing the way that people interact with it and everything. And that's where it had me really realize that this thing is doing something different to people, because it does put everything right there at the speed of our fingertips, right there in front of our faces. And I noticed a lot of interactions with people that I had, with my friends, even like good friends that I've known for a long time, changed. And it's not that, and here's part of the thing is, a lot of us have grown up since then, but they've changed. Not in a bad way, not in a bad way. But then I noticed how the social media changed them and their interaction with a lot of stuff, and that's and this was, and I'm telling you, this was probably like 2011, 2012, where I was noticing all this shit. I'm like, man, this, like, all right. And that's when I kind of decided, like, I'm just having fun on social media. Like, this isn't nothing that serious. We can get on there, we can have fun. I can shit post, I could do all these things. And here's the thing: is most of the people who I had on like at the time, it would have been mostly Facebook, were friends, and I had personal interactions with them. They knew who I was. They know when they see me in person. Some of that shit posting, they know it's a joke. They'll come up like, "Oh, that's so stupid. That's a stupid post." Like, haha. It's like, yeah, it was funny. Yeah, whatever. And the thing is like, it's not complete shit posting. But there would be times that I would post some shit, and people would be like, "Hey, that post you did," and we would have a conversation about stuff, about some of these things. A conversation. I know, right? Who would have thought? A real life person in conversation. And like I said, I run my own business here where I live at, and like I said, I'm a smart ass on Facebook and all that kinds of stuff. And I've had some of these interactions with people on Facebook. I had one customer who actually called me. They're like, "Hey, come to our business," and they're actually a good account. But the person that called, they're like, "Hey, are you the same guy on Facebook in the community group?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my god!" Like, and I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, and I told them, like, "Hey, all that stuff I put on, I'm just there to have fun." Like, and like they, like, as time's gone on, they've gotten to know me, and they see some of the shit posting I do, like, "Oh my god, like, that's so silly." I'm like, I know, but like, just some of these different things. But that's what it is. The ultimate thing that I think that a lot of people are missing in all of this stuff, from all this stuff that is going on with this, this social dilemma, these social interactions that you're having on social media, is missing the actual real life interaction with people. And it doesn't have to be just the people on your social media that there. It's interacting with actual real people. A lot of people don't do this nowadays. I mean, outside of your job, maybe depending on where you work at, depending on what you do, how many people do you actually socialize with and hang out with and get personally and hang out with on a regular basis? How much personal interaction do you get? Because, like, see, my thing is, like, my job, I get that as much as I want. I go see some of my customers. The other day, I had a customer who told me about how her husband had died. And, and this was like back in April, and I hadn't seen her for months. She told me about that. I'm like, man, but see, this is the interaction, this is what I like. Because I can sit here, and we sat there and we had like a half-hour conversation. You know what I mean? It's that personal interaction. Like, I'm just a guy in their business selling fucking candy. And she's sitting there telling me about her husband. And man, like, we had a good conversation. And again, these are the kind of interactions that you probably don't get those at work, but how many of those interactions do you really have on a regular basis? And this is what it comes down to, is having personal interaction with people, not just online. And like I said, it's not like you have to personally, like, I have to personally be talking to Star Wars Santa or Reefer Man or Landon here to have those social, like, it's actually having social interactions with other people in a real live setting. A lot of people don't get that right now. A lot of people are engaged on their devices all day long, especially now that some of them are working from home. Some of their businesses have changed due to the way the pandemic has affected and made businesses have to change the way some of them do business. A lot of people don't get that, right? It's something important. It's important, right? You have to get out there in the real world. You have to actually interact with people. And it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, this right there in itself will change your experience online, along with anything else that you could do that is actually good for your health, like getting outside, getting into the sun, getting some fresh air in your lungs, getting some movement, even if you're just walking. Now here's the thing, and here's the other thing that's, going along with the social dilemma and the technology and everything is, you see you got this rising popularity of these things. They were really popular for a while. These Fitbit, remember the Fitbit? Now you got your little watches and all that stuff. They track your steps and your heart rate and all that stuff. Woo, 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 right? To help you, like, oh, I didn't get my steps in today. I better go out and get my steps. Okay, now this is a good thing. This is actually a good thing. There's nothing wrong with having something there saying, oh, well, you didn't get your activity in for the day. You better go get it. This is actually good. It's motivated a lot of people and made them pay attention to their own health. This is good. Now, the thing I will say that's bad about this is, look, you need a little piece of fucking technology to tell you to take care of your health? To track your minimum amount of steps? Look, if tracking your steps for the day is that big important, there's a fucking problem. If you have to track your steps and be like, oh, did I get all my steps in today? You need to do something. Take the fucking Fitbit off and do something for an hour for your own health. Even if that is only going to get those steps in. Fucking do it. You have to do something. You have to do. I mean, if you're looking to this Fitbit, be like, oh, I didn't get all my steps. You got a problem already. That's the problem already. You realize, like, you need to prioritize something in your life. And that's what all of this stuff is actually about prioritizing stuff. They said all this thing about, turning off the notifications and stuff on your phones and just all these kinds of things. Absolutely, turn those off. They can be a distraction. On most of mine, I've actually got notifications turned off. I have notifications turned on for my Facebook business, the business manager now, because I have a business. I've got it turned on for Instagram. I've got it turned on for YouTube, and I've got it turned on for Twitter. YouTube and Twitter are mostly for stuff doing with the channel, and the other two are for my business. Now, granted, I don't get a lot of interaction there on Instagram and Facebook with my business, but I do get enough, and I need those updates. Now, here's the thing, is you can ignore them. You can ignore them. And I really truly do believe that a lot of this really comes down to actually having social interaction with other people. It's not necessarily the fact of the algorithm and it putting it in your face and it being meant to trigger a reaction from you. Most of us, especially older generation, this is the sad thing when I see some of these older, like some of the people in the older, like people who are older than me, who are driven by this stuff, who are sitting there on the social media constantly being fucking assholes and everything. I'm just like, guys, like, this isn't the world we grew up in. What are you doing? But the thing is that's just it. Everybody's susceptible to it, right? Like I said earlier, I've done it. I've pissed away a whole fucking day sitting there scrolling on social media, just doing stupid shit. Don't act like you haven't. But the point is, far too many people spend far too many times getting online interaction and not real life person interaction. And I've talked with this about several people, even when I've been out on my route. Like the other day I was at this salon, bunch of black ladies there. They're awesome, and they're like, hey, so you watched those debates the other night? You watch those debates? And I'm like, ooh. I'm like, I didn't. I don't watch it. They're like, oh man, they're sitting there talking like, what do you think about all that? I'm like, I honestly don't do the politic thing, but all these people to me, they're wacko. All these people to me are wacko. And we're sitting there like, oh yeah, and they're in the same boat. You know what I mean? And with all this stuff, and like I said, you look at me, you probably say, oh, there's a bald white guy. And not the fucking case. But the point is, that's what a lot of people see. But I go in there and have these interactions with people, and you know what? You see all these things, all this stuff that you see on social media, the BLM, all the protests and all that stuff. I don't see that in here where I live at. I would see that shit for sure. I don't see all that. I see people who are for the cause. Yeah, hey, they're proud to be black. They're you know, they do care about black people dying. They care about black lives. There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is the ones I see and interact with here in my community, which is a lot of them, they're not sitting there. They're not these fucking crazy foaming at the mouth weirdos that you find on social media. These people don't really exist in real life. And the ones that do only exist on social media. They don't go out into the real world. And that's what it comes down to. The point being is that it's all really up to you and what you interact with and what you want to interact with. Like, do you really want to spend all your time on Twitter fucking arguing with weirdos? Do you really want to be on Facebook for hours on end, pissing your friends off and getting on their fucking nerves and never interacting with all of their other shit, their happy shit? You only got to interact with their Trump post or their Biden post, you know? Never, like, when you see their friend, you know what I'm saying? Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. I told you at the beginning of the show, we're going to act fucking morally superior for the next 60 minutes. So I don't want to hear any lip out of any of you, okay? I said at the beginning of the show, we're acting morally superior for at least the next 40 minutes, and we haven't hit that mark yet. By the way, guys, make sure you go check out Star Wars Santa. I'm not sure if he's, is he going live? Is he going live? Let's see. Let's see if Star Wars Santa going live here. I know, because I know Star Wars Santa, he'd be going live a lot of times here at 9. There's 12 on the East Coast. 12? 11. 11? 12. Okay, I don't see him up yet. I don't see him up yet. But if he is, you know, make sure you go check him out. Because I know he usually goes right about now. But anyway, so I'm sorry, guys. I kind of went off on a little, not even a rant, but just kind of just explaining some shit out there, you know. Again, the documentary, it was pretty good. I can't say that I really learned anything new out of it. Nothing I didn't know. There wasn't even really great special insights in it for me. Because this is all stuff like I've been looking at this kind of stuff the whole time, and the fact that these companies are doing this, these platforms, I've seen it a mile away. But it is good. But there is one thing: a lot of people don't realize this. They don't realize this because they're just so caught up in a lot of these things. But anyway, let's get in here and see what everybody's saying here. Sorry, I was flapping my gums for so long. I had a Wednesday off for a change and it threw me all off. Oh, right? Yeah. I just want to see you be you and Myrtle too. Right? Ooh, wait, we got more characters coming. Landon, my man, what is up? Or I can't say my man. You're not a man. You're young. You're a child. You're young. Yeah. Did you even say you're a teenager? I can't remember at this point. You know what I mean. You adolescent. There we go. Oh, yeah. Pope Cerebus the First says, only the crazy underground groups are organizing using internet. The bulk of society should be organizing and creating a wider connected community. Not just about comics. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, yeah, and that's the thing. That's like I was saying about politics. Politics are supposed to bring us together, not divide us. The mere fact it's fucking politics already has you divided. That's the point. You're supposed to come together because of those things. Our differences are what make us unique. Opposites attract. You know what I mean? Yeah. People can't be trusted to have nice things. Absolutely not, TT. How are you doing? I hope all is well. Yep, to Pope. I grew up hiding from the other kids my age because I was tormented. Huh? What? And there's that too. And that's the other thing too, is here's the other thing is, like, when you think about it, you know, I think the point, I think that this point was clearly made when we had Gray on the show for Nerd Therapy, is when we were sitting there talking to her and hearing some of her experiences, like, I really truly felt fucking bad, man. Like, I'm like, god damn, man, like, it's fucking rough. Here's the thing is, kids are assholes. You know, when we're little kids, we're assholes. You know the thing, you know why? Because you don't know. You know, you don't know. You just don't realize what you're saying, what you're doing, the scope of things. You've probably seen it on TV. Maybe you heard it at home. Maybe you've seen it at home or seen it on TV. Whatever the case may be. You're a little kid. You don't know any better. I don't care if you're a fucking teenager. You're a kid and you don't know any better. But yeah, I hear you, man. And that sucks. That sucks. See, I was one of the kids, like, I wasn't ever really, like, bullied. And I wasn't the bully. But I was, like, you know, just kind of just there in the middle. I was just there in the middle, you know. I'd make jokes about any motherfucker, man. I ain't give a shit. Yo, for Rhodes, what is up? How are you doing? Yeah, Renee Ramon says, I grew up watching TV as my babysitter. See, there you go. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. And believe me, I watched a lot of TV. But where I grew up at, like, my mother worked days, my father worked nights. And when my father would be sleeping during the days, we'd get home from school, you know, my grandma lived right next door, so we'd go hang out at her house. My uncle and aunt lived on the other side, on the other side of us. We lived out in the country. We had big fucking plots of land, so hey, you know, it wasn't like we were packed in like fucking sardines in a trailer park. But yeah. Fatal J, my man, what is up? Says, every time I see this show, I see either Professor X, but today Wolverine is talking on no, we got Professorine. I'm going for Balderine. I'm going for Old Man Logan. Old Man. What is up, Fatal, my man? How are you doing, brother? Oh, I hope all is well. I hope all is well. How's that comic coming along? Is the campaign started? I don't even think, has the campaign started? I need to go check that out. I haven't got my emails. I haven't got my email. And I know you got my email. That's here, Renee. Nintendo Original was my best friend, sadly. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I believe the current generation will have to confront that they will be called to do their part. Remember the greatest generation, World War II? What was your country? What has your country asked you to do? Nothing. Right. Complain and cancel, really though, millennials. Right. Pope Service says, Brother Zebediah, Trinity is right. Social interaction on YouTube, but I have not seen anyone up close. Right. We have the power to make dreams happen, but what is the new American dream? What do people really want? Right. Absolutely. You know, and here's the thing is, ultimately, if you think about it, the American dream is the world dream, and now you just see more people wanting it. And that's kind of the tricky part. That's kind of the tricky part is these types of societies that we've got out there. I mean, if you think about it, it's all necessary. It's all necessary. Now, not all things are necessary within those things. Not all things are necessary within those things, but most of the actual types are they're all required. They're all required there. You know, there is no positive without negative. You know, so I mean, the thing is, like, there's got to be a balance to it, and this isn't a balance where you get to go balance out the scales like you're fucking Thanos. You don't go out there and balance out the scales by killing people. You balance out the scales by going out there and interacting with people and talking with people, just like most people actually do in their real lives. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, what do people really want? Pope, I just want to be left alone most often. The rest of the time, I'm making videos or watching videos on YouTube. Haha, what a life, right? Sounds like a good time, but I want to see people get back together. Remember the U.S. vibe after 9/11? Absolutely. People felt more together, and that evaporated over time. Absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, how soon they forget. A saying my friends and I always had, how soon they forget. And it's true, though. It's true. Now things have flipped to polar opposites. Yeah. Absolutely. Star Wars Santa, my man, what is up? You still haven't gone live, have you? Better, let me check. I can't do, oh, okay. Too much work piling up. All right. I hear you, man. I hear you. Puff puff, you're standing, you're up. Oh yeah, that's funny. He says pass. That's funny. Yeah, yeah. On to you, Reaper Man. Oh man, that's funny. You guys are funny, man. See, this is why I'm never having social media. Well, the thing is Landon, like with social media, the thing is you got to realize that you you the ultimate thing, all it's going to do is expose your flaws. That's what it's going to do. Is it's going to expose your flaws. You've got to have confidence. A lot of people aren't confident these days. They don't believe in themselves. They don't have a healthy sense of self-worth. A lot of people don't have a healthy sense of mental well-being. A lot of people don't have that, and these are things that are going to get exposed on social media quick. You can't look to social media for validation, social validation, any kind of validation whatsoever. All of that should have been done by your parents, not even by your friends. Your friends, like you're all building all that in you is on your parents. Now your friends, and those interactions, those social interactions, those are what, how would you say, your parents mold it, and it's more fortified by your social interactions with people. Now your friends aren't there to socially validate you. They only really validate you in society, in knowing that they are you, they are your friend, and no matter what, you know, if they're the right friend, you will have differences and interactions and disagreements and all kinds of shit, and still be friends, right? It's important. All those things are important. You don't get any of that on social media. Social media is all fucking fake interaction in the first place. Yeah, YouTube is a form of social media, absolutely. Pass that a second. Turned off notifications for the Second Street Marvel channel. Oh, you son of a bitch. And I have, dude, I have them fucking things on for you, Snowdab. I'm going to show you right now. Look, guys. Look. We're going on the social medias. Going on the social medias. Where's Snowdub at? He better be here across the top, otherwise I'm going to feel like an asshole. Look, he's even there on the top. Now, see, he's even there on the tops. On the tops is right there. You see him. Right there. See if I can touch it through. Okay, Snowdub. Okay, let's look at his channel. Okay, let's look at his channel. View channel. Alright, what? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Up yours, Snowdub. Jenner check. I'm just kidding. What's up, my brother? How are you doing, man? Oh, that's funny. Oh, man. Oh, were you... What was that? Were you trying to get cornrows in your beard? No, no cornrows. Why? Should I? Should I get some cornrows in there? Oh yeah. See, I would give up a day on social media to hang out in a black salon or an old school barbershop. That is social. Yeah, yeah. And I'm telling you, dude, that's what I love about like my job. I get to go in all these different places, and I'm telling you, I get to meet a lot of different people, man. It's fucking great. That's what I love about what I do. That's what I love about what I do. And yeah, it is great. It is great. It's great. Before I want some from Trinity, I'll just rattle my zipper. And I said at the beginning of the show, I was morally stoned. That's still true, and I am even more stoned than before. Morals or not. I mean, Trinity not wrong. Yeah. Please do. Don't do drugs. Weed is not a drug. Haha. Don't do that either until at least after high school. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Absolutely. Work on. Just get. You know what? Here's the thing you got to do. Do the thing I didn't do. Just finish fucking high school, and you're good to go. You're good to go. Of course, don't stop learning. You should always continue learning. I want to see people at my age and at schools, the girls, and they and them hot Cheeto girls act like Cardi B. They do all the weird things, and they should be 18. Act like they all like that. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Trinity Shoe, I'm so old. When I was watching TV as a kid, I hold the antenna to make sure the signal was good enough. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Trying to know that I have done some messed up things in my past 2 years. I've been telling lies about things and doing stupid shit. You're a fucking kid, man. You can't help it. You can't help it. You can't help it. You're a fucking kid. You think you're smarter than everybody. You think you're smarter than everybody. You think you got the world figured out. I'm just going to tell you right now, Landon. I'm just going to tell you right now. No matter how many people, smart people, wise people you listen to on Facebook or Instagram or in your life, no matter how much you heed their words, you're still a stupid fucking kid and you don't know shit. I'm sorry to tell you, you don't. You can be wise for your years, yes. You can be wise for your years, yes, but sorry, bro. Just sorry to tell you. No matter how many wiseisms you know, anything like that, you're still a fucking kid. But yeah. That doesn't mean that you'll just automatically be forgiven for everything, neither. Trinity, your comment about the self-worth and confidence and such absolute truth. But years and years of being bullied as a child really messed me up. Thankfully, I'm coming out of that finally. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is like, it's you can gain all of that stuff back. It's not easy. I mean, none of this, nothing's easy. Especially nothing worth doing is easy. But yeah, I mean, you gotta have, like, for social media especially, you've gotta have your own self-worth already. You've got to have confidence, otherwise, like, I mean, I see people on Facebook, you know, my friends and shit all the time, they're just not ready for it, man. Like you see some of the posts, like, oh, man, like, and you want to say something, but it's like you can't, you know, like, it's already too late. Oh man, but that's good. He says, I guess I blame my childhood on my lack of confidence these years, even though I do and have had friends and family who have always encouraged me and with my writing and whatnot. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and see, here's the thing. When it comes to some of that stuff, especially as you become an adult and become more skeptical of stuff, you start hearing some of that positive reinforcement from friends and family and shit, and you almost feel like, are they being genuine? Are they just bullshitting me to make me feel better about myself and to encourage me to go out there and be brave and do something? You start to feel that way. So, you know, it's like you never really know. The important thing is to know is, like, you gotta just, like, hope that these loved ones of yours, that they are actually being genuine and wanting to help you. Now, the other thing you can't do is any of the negative naysayers look into that, because in your life, the people who are going to be your biggest roadblocks, your biggest distractions, your biggest detractors are going to be your family first and your friends. They're the ones that are going to be less, like, look here on my channel, perfect fucking example. How many of my actual friends do you ever actually see in this fucking chat? How many of my actual friends in real life do you ever see here in this fucking chat? Rarely ever. If you ever see Cue Ball come in, he's one of my friends. He's one of my personal friends. If you also see Vincent, he's one of my friends. Or if you see King Shifter, they're one of my actual personal friends that I actually know in real life. You rarely will you ever find anybody else I actually know on here. But when the Clone Wars came out, it reminded me of my childhood. I told myself, yo, what the freak am I doing? My younger self wouldn't like this. What have I been doing for 2 years? Been doing for 2 years of just lies. Oh. What the fuck? It's 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Landon, just keep your head up. You sound like you have a good head on your shoulders. Yeah, absolutely. But ever since I came back to YouTube and came across the LB channel and yours and Perps and K-Dot, I started to become a better person, enjoying myself and not having to do, I'm not doing stupid things nor telling lies. Yeah. Well, because honesty is the best policy. Had to come in here and mention of social media on 2nd Street. What is up, my brother? How are you doing? Booyah! Yee! That's right. That's right, flexing. Flexing. Don't lie, especially to yourself. Absolutely. Well, and that's the thing. Most people lie to themselves every single day. You're probably saying those things for the benefit of others and not for your benefit. Absolutely. Reefer Man, I'm with you. Smoke Brutal and Comic Fan. I won't ever mess with you. Right. Hell yeah. That autocorrect. Yeah, I got you. Well said. Well said. Well, thank you. Thank you. Nerdy Liberty TV says, none of my real world friends even watch my videos unless they're in them. Family too. My brother even, who's part of the channel, but I don't do it for all that. I do it for me, you know? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing is because yeah, absolutely. You want, like, if they want to be involved, they'll let you know. They'll let you know. Like, I mean, sometimes I'll text, like at the start I used to text my friends like, hey, just come hang out, you know, and see what you think. And you know, some did, some didn't. Yeah, like I said, some of them come on sometimes. Yeah, you like that. You like that. Oh dang! And here's my other man right here. What were you watching? What is up, man? Dude, we got two Ryans in the house. Two badass Ryans, dude. And you know what? Both of these dudes are fucking talented as hell. Go check out What Were You Watching. Go check out some of his videos. Man, he's inspired me to want to do some more shit here on my channel with just like some of the stuff, because I see him doing some stuff in some of his videos. I'm like, I could probably come up with a white trash version of that and make it look halfway decent. Yeah, man, good stuff. We are getting life lessons on this stream. It's great. Aloys, how are you doing? What is up? I get all my life lessons right here, and all my 80s and 90s knowledge from you. Nice, nice. Yeah, you know what? I learned the facts of life from the facts of life. Remember that movie? Remember that movie? Oh man. Yeah. Ryan over What Were You Watching, dude? Like, I'm saying, like, he did some of those videos where he's breaking down how he did some of his graphics and shit. I'm like, oh, dude, like, I got Procreate and I'm gonna mess with some stuff, man. I'm gonna mess with some stuff. I got some stuff I'm working on, kinda. Yeah, man, good stuff. Now let's see, where else was it getting ready to go? 80s and 90s knowledge. I was getting ready to go somewhere with that. Can't remember. Thanks a bunch. It's lots of fun. Yeah, man. And I'm telling you, it looks like a lot of work, man. But it looks legit. Might not get out of work today, but it is what it takes. Take one day at a time. This is my therapy. Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about, because I used that quote from The Cable Guy. Have you ever seen The Cable Guy? I know. Remember that time on Fanjexer's channel when I got Cable Guide too? Got Cable Guide? Ooh, Cable Guy should... I remember that one too. Ooh, man, every time I think about Fanjexer's channel, I think it's about nothing but negative interactions that I've had over there. You know what I mean? I think Ryan, or not Ryan, but I think Adam over at Fanjexer has painted himself in a negative light in my eyes, because every time I'm there, it's nothing but bad experiences. I got Clerks 2'd. The Prestige Gate. What about those time loop movies in time travel brackets? And let's not forget that time that I got Cable Guide also. Damn it. And I'm telling you guys, I'm sure my man Mike Porter will agree with this. Bill and Ted, come on, brah. Come on. How did that not go farther yesterday? What's wrong with you people? You guys let time loop movies in. There was a time loop movie with Bill Murray. Groundhog Day is not a time travel movie. It's a time loop movie. If you want a time travel movie with Bill Murray, you're going to have to go for Scrooged. And how did Terminator not make the list? Oh, Trev brought that up. How do you not have Terminator on the top? I know why. Because for the most part, it didn't revolve around time travel, right? Is that what you're going to say? Scrooged did. And it had Bill Murray. And it was great. Man. Man. All of a sudden, look, he's not even here to defend himself. Adam got me all fired up, man. Whew. Man. All right. Moving a chair. Standing up now. Standing up now. It's time to perform. That's right. That's right. Oh man. Oh man. Kick back and read Department of Truth. You know what, Pope Service? I wasn't too huge on Department of Truth. I thought it was okay. I know a lot of people really liked that one, but it wasn't my favorite one. Yeah, Chillmonger, what is up? Yeah, my man. Let's see. Um, yeah, dude. When Ryan over at what were we watching showed the breakdown of his editing, I reevaluated my own editing game. I know, dude. Like I see, I'm like, dude, like that's freaking great. Like the keyboard and shit came out, and then I was thinking about that time that he was naked He-Man. Remember, he had his He-Man suit on. I was like, Started thinking like, was he really naked then? Was he really? Oh man, justice for Christopher Lee. Yeah. Oh man, absolutely. Will Morgan, what is up, my brother? How are you doing? RC, were you? Oh, is RC in the house? Did RC Scott show up? I was gonna say, I know he said he got a promotion, or he got a new position at work, so he's been hasn't been able to make it on the live streams and actually be active. He might be listening in though. Same. Adam is just a troll. Schindler's List over Jurassic Park. Ooh, man. You know what? Damn. Now that all this stuff is starting to add up, it's all starting to add up now. Wait. Okay. The whole premise for Terminator is time travel. It is. It is, but they don't really like they travel back in time, but they don't really travel a whole lot through that. But I'm still putting it. I'll put it on my time travel list. I'll still put it on my time travel list because I still think it's time travel. But they don't really time travel much in it. Where like in Scrooged, they actually time traveled like 3 times. Remember? Just like the Christmas story. The whole story, like it goes to past, present, and future. They time traveled. It took him there. Buster Poindexter drove him to all those destinations. Yeah. Love Adam though. Yeah, absolutely nerdy blue. Absolutely Adam. Or absolutely love Adam. He's great, dude. Yes, but technically Groundhog Day could be a time travel movie because he does sort of travel back in time at the end of every day or when he dies. Yeah, no, but he doesn't time travel. It's just a time loop. He's just caught in a time loop. It's not time travel. He's not actually traveling through time. It's not actually traveling through time. Intentionally, either. He doesn't have a time machine or anything. It's a time loop. It's a time loop. It's a time loop. Just like, what was that other one that was there on the list? The other time loop movie? Edge of Tomorrow? Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow. Time loop movie, not time travel. They didn't travel through time. Time looping is a form of time travel, but it's not though, because you're only looping back to the beginning. You're just caught in a loop. You're not traveling anywhere. You're not using a device or anything like that to travel through time. You're just caught in a time loop. It's just quite the conundrum. True. Read it again. Lee Harvey Oswald running the department. Yeah. No, I read it. I thought it was okay. Just like, I don't know. For me, I think the first issue needed more than what it had in it. I just really wasn't into it. I know Stephanie over Bruce and Stephanie Comics. She's there with me. She's there. Hell yeah, rock on, Stephanie. Peggy Sue got married. Time travel, right? Ooh, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Yeah. The antlers won't stay on. Have you tried Staples? Oh man. Rinse, dye, repeat. Yeah, right? Alright guys. Anyway, we've had a good day here. In case you didn't catch the beginning of the stream, we were talking a little bit about some of the comic books that I got and read for the week. So far, I've got plenty more to read and review here on the channel. Make sure you go back and check and watch that. And don't forget, I did say, I know if you're sitting here watching right now and have been watching for the past half hour or so, you've probably sitting here, heard me waxing wise, talking like I know something, being morally superior for the last 40 minutes. But I gave you warning at the beginning of the show. I told you I watched The Social Dilemma last night and that I'm morally superior now because I'm more aware. We're all more aware now that I'm more aware, and I am now morally superior for at least, the past 40 minutes or so. So if you got a problem with that, I'm sorry. You can leave a dislike. It's all good. I told you at the beginning of the show I was going to act morally superior for the next 60 minutes. And we passed that 60-minute mark. So the method of traveling from one time to another, be it minutes or decades or millennia, matters more than the fact that somebody traveled somehow from one point in time to another. But they didn't travel from one point in time to another. They just reincarnated. It's just a loop. It's just a loop. They didn't travel anywhere. Not on purpose or anything. It's just a loop. It's just a loop. Man, I feel like we're gonna have to. I feel like this is a debate. Are we gonna have to fucking debate this shit? Is this gonna turn? Maybe we're gonna make our own debate. We don't need a debate 8. We're having a debate time travel. Yeah, let's debate time travel, huh? We're gonna do it. But anyway, guys, you all have a very good day, and we'll see you in the next video or live stream. Later.